Hello everyone, welcome to my first episode of introduction of my vendors and Frisco businesses. So the first one today, in episode 1, is going to be John Parker with farmers. John, tell us more about you, how you got into insurance business and how long have you been there?
Sure. Well, I've been in the insurance business for 17 years. I started out in semiconductors before farmers for 8 years. I've always been in sales, so I like that. I knew I wanted to own my own business, something of that nature, and insurance just appealed to me. A friend of mine actually was an Allstate agent, and that's kind of how I got like the idea of starting my own insurance agency. And here we are years later, having a good time.
Great. Okay, so all the buyers and homeowners should have an insurance, except they didn't pay cash for their house, so they don't have to have insurance. Eventually, they're not obligated.
Right.
But if they buy with a mortgage, they should have an insurance, and they shop around. And what would you tell these buyers? Why do they need a home insurance even they bought cash?
Right. Well, the number one reason I would say that you would want to buy home insurance if you're paying cash and no bank is requiring it is for your liability protection. So anybody can be sued in America. So if there's a slip and fall on the sidewalk in front of your house, and you're going to be liable for those injuries. Someone could even climb over your fence if you have a pool in your backyard, drown, trespass. They were there to steal something, and then they end up suing you for their injuries. That's crazy. That's about the most absurd scenario I can think of. But that's the protection that your liability provides from your home insurance. And when they say $300,000 or $1 million or two or whatever that number is, that means your insurance policy is going to pay this person $1 million plus all the attorneys on top of that to defend you, which can be another $120,000 on top. So I've had customers get sued. If their limit was $300,000, the attorneys were $120. That means Farmers pays $420 to take care of that.
Okay.
And that's not even, covering the home for disasters.
Okay. Well, now home for disaster. Let's say I bought cash and I don't have insurance, and tornado just wiped up my home. So I don't have insurance.
Right.
And I have to pay for my home from scratch again. But let's say I have insurance. What's the price that the insurance company is gonna pay for my home if it's damaged and I have to build a new one?
Right. So at the end of the day, the way home insurance works is your insurance policy just gives you money. So with everybody, when it comes to home insurance, and this is one thing that we get a lot, especially with a new purchase with the banks, and when people are being required to buy insurance to satisfy that loan requirement, is they want the insurance amount equal the loan amounts many times. But insurance is designed to rebuild a house, to give you money to rebuild that house. So what I tell everybody is, we're going to come up with a number to help you rebuild. It's an estimate of how many dollars it's going to take you to rebuild without the land as a factor. So a lot of times people say, I want my purchase price, or their banks are telling them the purchase price must equal the loan amount, which I know I'm getting off topic here a little bit, but that's not how insurance works. How insurance works is, to answer your question, is call a couple general contractors, a couple home builders, and ask them, hey, here's the house, here's the address, here's the square footage, all the details of the home. If you were gonna build me that house today in 2020, how much would you charge me? And they're gonna say, well, it's probably gonna be about $200 a square foot, 180, 300, whatever that number may be, depending on the finish out. So that's how insurance works. Keep in mind, a purchase price, when you buy a home, it includes the land. And so, for example, if you bought a house for a couple $1 million, and then you ask us to insure it, and the house is only 1,500 square feet, and maybe we come up with a reconstruction number of $300,000. If I'm talking too fast, let me know. but the purchase price was $3 million. You're like, how can that be? Well, again, if I said this house was purchased out in East Texas, it may be on 100 acres for $3 million is what they paid for the property. But the house is an old 1960s ranch style home at 1,500 square feet. It's not gonna take a ton of money, but maybe $300K to rebuild it.
Okay.
So the purchase price doesn't equal loan amounts or insurance amounts, what I'm trying to say.
The insurance
The
amount.
purchase price could be, you could do 100% financing, and yes, your loan could equal the purchase price, yes. But insurance is different, that's what I mean. The loan amount, the purchase price does not equal insurance.
Okay, so a lot of people are asking me, for example, if does it include a fence or something? Let's say hail damage or something. Does it include a fence, or you have to rebuild? Does it include a fence and some out of the house buildings? What exactly the dwelling, is it the way?
Right.
Dwelling,
So your homeowner's
includes?
policy has 5 standard coverages. The dwelling, the home itself, obviously for $300,000, $1 million or whatever, the contents inside of it, other structures like your fence, detached barn sheds, garages, etc., and of course living expenses, hotels, when you're going to be living somewhere else.
Okay.
While your house is being rebuilt.
All right. So actually, what farmers offers different than other agencies? For example, anything that buyers supposed to know about
Right.
farmers, about the home insurance with farmers.
Well, the difference I would say with farmers, being a preferred carrier, number one is they just pay their claims. Fast and easy and efficient. Not to say that other companies don't, but I know it was on the news last night, we were watching it, or 2 nights ago, was after the tornadoes from a year ago. And this was a news story about 1 year later, all the people that were impacted with their homes being devastated in Dallas off of the toll road. And luckily we've only had one of those in our agency, but it was a big claim, over $850,000. Our customer loves us. So they haven't had any issues, they got it paid, and their home was okay, it was just cracks. Structural engineers sort of have to get involved in all this stuff, and that's where it comes out of your dwelling limits. All these things that people wouldn't even think about has to be paid for, and that's what the insurance does. So the difference between you want a quality company that's gonna be there for you, do the right thing. Perks with home insurance, that's a challenging question. I don't really know too many perks that I can even think of right now, other than, with a multi-line company bundling your auto, the home, the life, boats, motorcycles, your commercial business, etc. if you had one, to get lower premiums. Newer roof is a big factor in your premiums. If you have an alarm system, it's not the biggest discount like it was in the past. What you will have declining deductibles, over the years, when you stay with a company like Farmers, that is one of the small benefits. It's only $50 per year, so if your deductible is 10 grand, $50 a year, you're with the company for 4 years, it's only $200. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
But those are the small things.
Yeah, you mentioned roof. You have some deductions for the roof from the premium, or
That's what's driving the premium. So the home insurance, I would say, is probably double in North Texas from 5 or 6 years ago. Just like the cost to put a roof on is about double. It used to be, for an average home, 2,000 square feet, maybe 5,500, 6 grand 10 years ago. Today, it's probably 10,000.
okay.
And so that's what's been driving all the premiums to go up so high. But yeah, the roof is a big factor with Farmers. It's our #1 rating factor. So your rate will probably go down in the neighborhood of 30% after you put a roof on. And again, not all claims are gonna make your rates go up. Just like with an auto accident, what I mean by auto accident, if it was the other guy's fault, if someone stole your car, there was hail damage, an accident, or I should say auto claim. Not every auto claim is gonna raise your rate. Not every home claim is gonna make your rate go up. So it depends.
Okay. Actually, mentioning the roof or whatever, let's say the seller doesn't agree to repair a roof or some major damage on the house, and the buyer is supposed to shop for insurance. We're talking about in our real estate, community, that the roof is not insurable, or this is not insurable, so the lender is not going to lend the money or whatever. But let's say the lender is going to lend money, and is it still insurable? For example, the roof. If the some roofers came and say, hey, this is for replacement.
Okay, so that's a great question. A couple answers to that because it's complex. Most preferred major carriers will inspect a home after the policies are issued to make sure it does qualify for coverage.
Okay.
So all the inspections are done previously to a home. Like an auto is supposed to be in an acceptable maintenance conditions. No water damage inside, the roof is in good condition, there's no cracks in the foundation, cracks in the walls, cracks in windows, all the normal signs, trees are overhanging the house, and it's been maintained and
Okay.
loved. If it's not, it's a home in disrepair and you got washing machines in the front yard, that's not going to be an acceptable risk to the insurance company. I'm not saying that we can't write it. What would happen is, let's say this guy wants to buy a house with a roof that needs to be repaired. We could maybe put the policy in force. Once it's inspected, they could say, based on the violation, you've got 30 days to get that fixed. You've got 60 days. We'll give you 1 year. And what I mean by you've got 30 or 60 days, they'll say, you got to get this fixed by this amount of time, or we're simply going to non-renew the policy. You're on your own. That's
Okay.
what's going to happen.
Okay, yeah. Those sometimes happen, and when we hear, oh, it's not insurable, we're not gonna close or something, and people freak out, so that's good to know. That's
Yes.
good to know. And by the way, do you insure, for example, water heater?
Yes. So all of the major appliances inside of your home, that's again a fine line if we want to talk about a home warranty versus a homeowner's policy.
That was my question.
Okay.
What is the difference between the home warranty and the home insurance? Because a lot of people, they just don't make the difference.
Okay, super. So the home warranty started in the 1970s. Insurance has been around since homes were built, 150, 200 years ago, whatever that was. But a home warranty, basically, it has to do with like lemon laws with autos. You buy a car, it's not working, you're always worried about that. So with homes, when people are selling their homes, all of the potential buyers are worried that, hey, maybe this home has problems. That's why they're selling it. It's going to be a money pit. Nobody wants to buy that. So they created a solution. It's called a home warranty. It's a service contract. It's not insurance, but all of your major appliances like your pool equipment, your range in the kitchen, refrigerator, washer, dryer, water heater, etc., air conditioning, if those things can be expensive, thousands of dollars to replace if they need to be replaced. But if there's a problem with it, you call your home warranty company, they'll send a technician with a $100 service fee to come out and fix it or replace it at
But
no cost.
you don't.
And that's how
you
a
don't
home
cover
warranty
it.
works.
Yeah.
Insurance, that's how home warranties work. Insurance is designed to cover you against perils,
Okay.
fire, theft, lightning, hailstorms, disasters when the homes are going to be leveled. And that's what we're talking about, this reconstruction number. If we have to rebuild your home, that's what this insurance policy is going to do. Worst case scenario, your auto, it's totaled. We're going to have to give you X amount of dollars for this car. So the home insurance is for perils. Not everything is covered. Typical exclusions from your home insurance policy: mold, termites, pests, small animals, rodents, squirrels, etc. that will maybe eat and tear into roof piping holes, foundation problems. A lot of people see in foundation endorsements for I've got $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 of foundation coverage. We see that every day, and they think they have foundation coverage when the walls have cracked and you have to hire a structural engineer to come out and put the house up on posts, etc. That's not covered by home insurance. That's a standard exclusion. Foundation coverage is not covered. What that endorsement does is it extends water damage when pipes would break under your concrete slab. If it was a pier and beam, they can just crawl underneath the house and probably repair a pipe. But if it's a concrete slab, they may have to tunnel through a couple areas inside the floor. And this is gonna be the money to repair the damage to the floors.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, yeah, because a lot of people have that question and they just get confused.
Mhm.
Well, all right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It was a very informative interview.
I hope so.
And lots of information. So guys, John Parker with Farmers, he's one of my preferred vendors. And you just call him if you have any questions or need an insurance.
Thank you very much.